Okay, so our son is 17 months old, as stated in the title. I met him in 2017, and he told me that he was on good terms with an ex of his, which I didn't see a problem with at first. Then, I noticed that every time something major would happen in his life, he would come to me about it, but he would run to the phone to tell her about it as well. She lives out of town about 3 hours away, but does come into town to see her mother. I don't believe him when he tells me he's over her, or that they're over each other, because last time she was in town, he went up to the corner store to meet her without me and claimed it was because she said she didn't want drama because she knows I don't like her. She has been a source of a lot of fighting because I feel like what he's doing is wrong and shady. If there's nothing going on between them, then he would have no problem with us meeting each other. He said that he had no problem with it, but that she said that again, she didn't want drama. But that doesn't matter to me. I feel like he shouldn't be meeting her alone. So here's where it gets interesting. The other night, he sat me down and said my ex is coming into town on Sunday, and she wants to see our son, and I'm going to let her. Normally, I wouldn't have a problem with this. It would be a little awkward, sure, but after the problems that she has caused, I have a huge problem with us. Plus, the fact that he didn't ask me if I was okay with it. He just sat me down and said she wants to see him, and I'm going to let her. No regard for how I feel about it. And also, I'm his mother. I don't know why she would want to see him except for the fact that she miscarried three of his children, because she wouldn't stop doing pain pills. I think maybe she's jealous that he has a child with me, and I wonder if she's trying to push me out of the picture in a way, and maybe trying to create a family with our son. I've heard of some women doing this. Why would she want to be meeting my son without meeting me, his mother, otherwise? I'm thinking about breaking off the relationship anyway because of this. I haven't been happy for a long time. I feel like he never really takes my feelings into account. He just says, here's what's happening, deal with it or don't. This is just wrong and inappropriate though. Everything else aside, I am our son's mother, and I feel like if she wants to meet our child, then she can meet me whether she likes it or not. Why would she be wanting to see our son without meeting me? Edited to add. Fixed a couple of words, and the reason I don't like her is because she's been very intrusive and sticks her nose where it doesn't belong. I found out that she actually made the comment, well, if something happens to you, then who's going to take care of your son? Hello, me, his mother. It's not the first example of her sticking her nose where it doesn't belong. I know it's probably because of whatever he's been saying to her. He's probably been leading her on. She's also engaged to another man, and he has no idea that this has been going on, and I honestly want to tell him. I feel like if he is raising her kids that aren't even his, then he especially deserves to know what she's doing to him behind his back. They're constantly on the phone messaging each other, and I feel like nothing good can be coming of that, especially with the way she's acting now. Should I tell her fiancé as well? Excuse me? He acts like it's an order and not a decision that should be taken by both of you. First of all, I'm sorry, but if it were my child, the only way I would let her meet him is if I'm there. Second, he's very selfish. He doesn't give an F about how you feel in this situation, and clearly doesn't respect you enough to put her in her place and make her know you're number one. It's shady as duck that he's still meeting her and wants her to meet your kid without you being there with the miscarriages. Should I tell her fiancé as well? I say yes. This may make your boyfriend's ex angry at you, which may make your boyfriend angry at you too. But that's fine, since you said in another comment that you've basically decided to break up with your boyfriend. The fiancé deserves to know what his soon-to-be wife is doing behind his back. Me, 31 male, and my now fiancé, 26 female, have been together now for the last 5 years. I proposed back in September right before our 5-year, and as you can tell, she said yes. Everyone on my side of the family was thrilled, while her side of the family was not quite as excited. My fiancé is a very introverted, passive lady, which probably comes from her emotionally mother. I am a very direct person, so her mother was careful with what she said around us, because I would call her out on her behavior in front of the rest of the family, which is why she doesn't like me. As our years of dating went on, my fiancé became more confident in herself, finishing her master's, getting her dream job, making good money, and just happy for the first time in a long time. Her mother resents her for her accomplishments because she never did anything with her life. Married twice, never finished school, very self-centered, dead-end jobs, in debt she will never be able to pay back, and addicted to whatever pills she can find, just to paint a picture for you. October hits. Now, her mother demands that she throws the bridal party since she is the mother of the bride. We were hesitant, but were told the aunts would help financially, so we said yes. 1 week later, we got a call saying everything was booked and taken care of. We were honestly shocked it was done so quickly and paid for, So we thanked her and put it out of our minds. 2 weeks ago, we got a phone call from her father saying that her mother and aunts couldn't afford the deposit of $100 deposit. I know. When questioning why they lied to us, her mother would just keep repeating, "It's your aunt's fault," while laughing. It's crazy. They tell us the party is paid for, and now we find out they can't even afford the bare minimum. I was upset, but my fiancé lost it. She had enough, so she ended up going dress shopping with my mother and sisters instead of taking her own. From what my older sister told me, after they found her dress, she broke down and told my family what happened. She asked my mom to run her bridal shower because she trusted her. Of course, my mom said yes. She didn't talk to me about this beforehand, but I respect her decision and think she made the right call. 1 week goes by and we have all calmed down enough to call her parents. We tell them they are no longer in charge of the shower and we have it covered. Her mother tried playing it cool and assured us they would try to have the deposit money by next week. We told her that my mother would be in charge of running it and could help her so she could still be part of it. This is when things got nasty. Her mother started screaming that we were acting selfish and making a mistake. She hangs up and starts calling everyone on her side of the family. The aunts are just like the mother, so we knew things were going to get messy. Sure enough, social media posts talking about how bad I am for her start to pop up. I'm a piece of crap. My mother is a bee. I'm tearing the family apart. On and on it goes. My fiancé is getting texts and calls trying to get her to change her mind about the wedding, and they just won't stop. I'm a pretty cool-headed person, but I've had enough of this drama BS. We are seeing her parents tomorrow, and I'm ready to tear them a new one. I want to just dig into every nasty thing I can think of and tear them down, but I know that I shouldn't. We haven't sent our invites yet, but we are ready to start crossing names off of our list. Did we do the right thing? Did we jump the gun on changing who runs the shower? What would be the best thing to say to them tomorrow? How should we handle the super nasty relatives who won't even listen? Best thing about starting a new family is you can cut the old one out of your life. You guys don't need that crap in your lives. Focus on being a newlywed couple and start blocking phone numbers. Yes. OP, your fiancé's mom is a classic narcissistic parent, and there's nothing you can do or say to change her behavior. As someone once told me, you either accept her for what she is, or you can coexist in the same narrative of life. Obviously, accepting her behavior is not an option. If you don't want to rage out and possibly overreact, I wouldn't confront her parents while angry. I suggest you talk to your fiancé about either structured and low contact or no contact at all with her family. These aunts included. Best case scenario, they're flying monkeys who enable the mother. And worst case scenario, they're narcissists themselves. For the sake of your mental health and happiness, distance. Update. We took the high road advice that most of you suggested. I read off some of the messages who aunts wrote to us and asked her mother if she found them appropriate. She remained silent. I asked her if she found her behavior appropriate. Again, silence. Any and all forms of conversation turned into her looking around the room, acting like everything was fine. Her father at least spoke with us and admitted they were in the wrong. As we were getting ready to leave, we told her mom that we felt that a bridal shower is a financial burden on the family, and she won't have to worry about it. Told her to just try to save her money. She finally responded with a snarky, "Well, I can't financially buy you a wedding gift now either. Not like I was planning on it anyways." Without skipping a beat and off script from anything we spoke about, my fiancé responded with, "You have 1 week to change my mind about removing you from the wedding list. If you don't, you are out of the wedding for good," and walked towards the car. It took me and her dad by surprise, but her mother had a true look of fear on her face. I think she got the wake-up call she needed. But we both agreed we don't need the toxic crap from anyone, especially family. So, for the past 5 months, my female 25, fiancé, male 34, have talked in depth about this being a time we wanted to have a baby. I was so excited. He was so excited. We have been picking names for months. I was also so incredibly happy and excited. We have been together for approximately 5 years. Some background. He has a daughter, 12, from a previous relationship that was an awful toxic relationship, and he was quite young and not ready to have a baby. When he found out his ex was pregnant, he wanted her to have an A. He knew that neither of them were ready, and they weren't in a position financially to do so. She obviously refused. He is an amazing father. We have a good relationship with his ex now. I consider his daughter my daughter. I take her to school, homeschooling now. Every extracurricular she wants to do, I help pay for. We go on little shopping sprees together. We are much closer emotionally than her and her mother. Her mother has 2 other kids. They are not my fiancés. We all co-parent very well together. For the first few years of our relationship, he was adamant on not having any children. I was fine with that. I did want children, but if it didn't happen for me, I was fine with that too. I have his daughter, and I love her all the same. Back to main story. So now I am 10 weeks pregnant. Last week, the love of my life, my best friend, the man I trust with my life, and have every intention of being with him until the day I die, tells me I should get an A. Out of ducking nowhere. I was completely blindsided. I obviously broke down. What the duck has changed now that I am already pregnant? This was not an accident. This was a mutual decision we were excited about. The answers I got out of him were that he no longer thinks we are ready for a kid, across the board. He thinks his daughter will be jealous and a new baby will make her not want to be with us. She is so excited about having a brother or sister. He doesn't want her to feel like she is being put by the wayside or forgotten about. I have tried to ease his mind that none of that is true. Just because there's another kid doesn't mean we forget about the one we already have. I didn't want to have a kid if I would ever be put into this situation. I have always been very diligent on birth control, so I would never be in this position. So when we talked for months about this is what we mutually wanted, we talked about his daughter and how she might feel. We talked about finances, living arrangements, etc. We talked about everything that you could think of. I never wanted to be in this position. I do not think I could mentally and emotionally handle an A. And frankly, it's not what I want. I told him that. He says he will support my decision no matter what, and we can try to make it work after the birth, but he doesn't know about our future together. He assured me he still loves me and wants to spend the rest of our lives together, that this just is no longer a good time to have a baby. I never wanted to be in this position. I feel like if I have an A, then I am compromising my morals, and I don't think I could ever forgive him. Maybe I could, but in my heart, I feel that I would hold this against him forever, and that would unravel our relationship. If I don't get the A, then he remains supportive and in my life until further notice, and I could lose him relationship-wise and end up a single mom, which I don't want. I don't want to lose this relationship, but I feel like no matter what my decision, I lose the relationship. I want this baby. I am so happy and excited. I just never thought I would be looking at doing it alone. So what's your advice, Reddit? Because I am at a ducking loss as to what I do. And now that you're pregnant, you're finding out who he truly is. How shocking from a man who at 29 struck up a relationship with a 19-year-old. He's likely looking to break up with you the same way as he did with his toxic ex, because he doesn't actually want the full-time responsibility of a child. Do not have an A if you do not want one. Go to therapy if you want to salvage the relationship with this cruel and disrespectful man, but I don't know how anyone could ever get past something like this. The excitement of a planned pregnancy, only to have the man suddenly demand an A? What kind of person is he? It sounds like he's flip-flopping and blaming it on his daughter. His daughter is excited, so the problem is him. I suspect he just wants to break up with you for other reasons, and that's why he's not okay with having a baby anymore. I think this is a lose-lose situation, because I think he wants to break up with you, and not having another baby mama would make things a whole lot easier for him. If you get the A, he can break up no strings attached. If you keep the baby, he'd most likely still break up with you, but he'd be on the hook for child support. It's really a damned if you do, damned if you don't way to put it. I can honestly say that I don't know what I would choose, but that's the thing. It's still your choice. Only you can make this. Go with what you think is right.